Standard Industrial Classification Codes and North American Industry Classification System codes are for point sources. Beginning in 1997, the NAICS codes are now used instead of the SIC codes, and these codes relate more to what we're interested in, which is actually the emissions, so what the process is and what it's producing. Keep in mind that every point source in TEISS must have a North American Industry Classification System code. In TEISS, how to find these codes: if you enter something in the text to search box and then click on the binoculars, it should find all those codes that have that word in it, depending upon what you select here in the drop-down box. If you pull up just a few with your search and it's not what you're looking for, click the Show All button, and that shows all of the codes again, not filtered. How do we find source classification codes in TEISS? Go to the View icon on the menu bar, and then the first item is SCC codes. So click on that, and it takes a second to build the table because it's a big table. The rows that are grayed out are from old codes that are no longer used by EPA, but they still have to be in the table because they may be related to old calculations, and since we're looking at data that we've imported from the National Emissions Inventory database, it may include some of these old codes. So we still have to keep these old codes in the table, but only the ones that are in black are available for you to select. So let's say we have a lumber mill. We'll always remember to look at this scroll bar over here on the right. You can see how this is organized. We've got two tabs here for point and then for area, which includes everything except for point, and then text to search and the binocular button, which is the search button. So we're going to look for a lumber mill because we have that, and we need to figure out what code it is so we can begin to figure out what data we have to gather and then how to do the calculation. So we searched for lumber mill by typing in lumber mill and hitting return or clicking the binoculars, and you can see over here it tells us it pulled up 457 records or rows that it thinks have something to do with lumber mill. The way this panel is organized is there's the specific code here, and in this case, of course, it's 8 digits because we're talking about point sources, and then the source classification level 1 description, which just means the first character. So if the first character is a 1, you could see that's the case for everything shown here, and all of these tell us, oh, if the first character is a 1, it's an external combustion boiler. Then the next column is the 3 character, including the 3 characters. So you could see that the 01, 01, 01 here relate to electricity generation, because then it changes to 02, 02, 02, and that's an industrial type of process. Then the next column is the source classification 6 character description, and you can see that gets more and more specific, and there are more columns including all the way to the 8 character description, and that gets into the exact specific process. And then also included is a column for the material that's used, and sometimes these have useful information in these other columns over here to the right. But we're looking for a lumber mill now, and this doesn't look like it found anything really particularly useful. We're going to try to be even more general, and we're just going to type in wood and click the binoculars. And now it came up with 385 rows, and it does look here like we're talking about stuff having to do with wood, but it's not anything to do with an external combustion boiler. So we are going to scroll down until we see something like, okay, this is wood, pulp and paper and wood manufacture, Well, we're in the right. I'm going to pull this open here so we can see this full SCC 3 description. What we're looking for is industrial. It's nothing having to do with generating electricity, not food and agriculture, mineral, or anything to do with waste. Okay, industrial. Yeah, we probably want to be in this description area, but not external combustion boiler. Here, this looks good, but not furniture manufacturer. So you have to be patient and look through here because the search is not that functional. One other thing you can do is you can sort by any of these columns. So if you wanted to sort everything that was pulp and paper and wood products and put all of this in alphabetical order, you could click here, and now it has sorted based upon the SCC level 3. And so we've got all pulp and paper and wood products together, but it's not making this stuff. So we keep scrolling down. It's not plywood operations. Here we go, sawmill operations. It had sawmill as one word and not lumber mill, 2 words. So you could see that we're in the right area now. We see sawmill operations, and now we go over one and we see at the sawmill there's all these different processes. So now we have to get more specific and say, okay, are we talking about log debarking, log sawing, or sawdust pile handling, for example? Now let's say we have a gas station, or we have several gas stations, and we're going to treat gas stations as non-point sources and lump their emissions together. So let's find the source classification code for gas stations. Well, we're going to treat that as a non-point source. So I'm going to click on the area tab here, and I'm going to type in gas. And you could see it comes up with 1,072 records. So that's probably not all that useful. Let's see, type in station. We'll see, well, only 172 rows it pulled up. Let's pull the grabber bar up and look through these, and you can see that it has the full code here in the first column, and then the SEC level 2, and just starting at the top, we aren't talking about anything having to do with coal or natural gas, but since there's only 172 records, we could scroll down and we could find gasoline service stations. Here we go. So it's under the SEC level 2 of storage and transport of petroleum and petroleum product storage, and then gasoline service stations. And then at the gasoline service station, there are these different processes. There's the filling up the tanks, there's displacement losses, uncontrolled and controlled, there's spillage. So there are these different processes at the gas station, and each one of these has its different SEC code. You can look for petroleum, and that also comes up with about 130, and you could see that it would include other things too, like at the marinas, at the airport. So that's why it's always important to check over here, pull it to the top, and first look how many records you've got, and if it's only 100 or so, it's probably just fastest for you to scroll through and look for what you are trying to find. Keep in mind that you want to be scanning over here even in the more specific areas where you can probably more easily find the words you're looking for the particular process.